I started getting a little bit, I always have a little rash here, oftentimes have a little rash, but I got a little hive, and I just did 2 rounds of breathing that I kind of developed for my own allergy thing, so I'm going to do the 3rd one right now. I thought I would film it since I was thinking of it. Okay, I'm home. So before I got so rudely interrupted by a phone call, I was doing the breathing for you guys. I'm going to continue with what that round looks like for me. It's not any type of specific breathing. It's just something that I developed that I just started doing that works for me in the moment when I am having a allergy type thing happen at that very moment. This is what I do. Or this is the rhythm of breathing I do. So gross. Hold on. One of the hazards of doing breathing is boogers. Alright, here we go. 3rd time's the charm. Hold the breath for as long as you can, about a minute or more. Take a deep breath and hold for 15. I was on starting my 3rd round in the car, so this is the 3rd, and then now I'll do a 4th. And then I'm going to do a 5th when I have my allergies, whether it's, usually for me, it's some kind of skin reaction along with some itching and like in my nose, and I get like an ulcer type thing usually on like my left side of my nose right here. Sometimes it's around the lips, though recently, knock on wood, it hasn't been. But this kind of thing has been happening. It's actually, the texture of the skin is already different than it was when I was in the car. And I had a hive, which I don't even remember ever getting hives right here, but it showed up. So whatever's going through my body right now, it's just processing that out. I've been still adding foods into my diet, and I have had some new things recently, so that's probably why. Round number 5. I'm going to do one more round. I'm going to do round number 6. When I have these allergies, I do more. I do the Wim Hof breathing every morning for 3 or 4 rounds. But when I have an allergic reaction going on at that moment, I do as many as I feel needed. So here's 6. So I usually would do those back to back without a space in between. Obviously that didn't work at the moment, so that's just what I was doing for now. Trying to think if there's anything else to say on that. Again, that's not like a breathing technique specific to anything. That's just what I found works for me when I'm having these allergic things going on. And I learned from somebody else who was doing Wim Hof breathing that when they were getting migraines, they could do the Wim Hof for them breathing technique in that moment, and it would stop their migraines. And these were severe migraines that would like put them out for like a day or 2 in bed. And they started doing these, and it made me have the idea that, oh, if I do this in the moment when I'm having food allergies, this would benefit me. And what you're doing is you're bringing in that alkalinization into your body. So you're bringing in tons of oxygen, and inflammation can't survive in an alkaline, oxygen-rich environment. So it actually, in that moment, will start to bring down your inflammation in the body as you're doing that. Like, this already is so smooth. The redness is like drastically better. There's hardly anything there. I don't feel any little hive there anymore like there was before. It's so much better. So I don't know if I was to continue to do this, like for how many more rounds, like if this would just completely stop and go away. I mean, if you think about it, hives and rashes come up super, super fast and quick. And within seconds, you can go from having perfectly smooth skin to like bumpy, red, itchy, even blistering hives, which is something that I used to get. And so it can go away very quickly too. Hives can just disappear. Any inflammation in the body can. So, you know, doing this can just speed up that process and bring it all together and get rid of it right away. I haven't done this, but if you pee on a pee strip before you do any alkalizing breath work, and then you pee on it afterwards and compare the two, your pH balance will go way up to an alkaline state, which is really cool. So that's something that I should grab a couple of those and do that next time I do some breath work. I have to remember to do it beforehand. This has changed so much. I did this when I was actually eating dinner one night, for I was having tomatoes, like a lot, like a good amount of tomatoes fresh in a sauce for the first time. So I used to be really, really allergic to tomatoes. Like even it just touching my mouth or even my hands, I would break out and start itching like crazy. And it would just like, the skin would just peel away. And that would happen with a lot of foods, but tomatoes was one of the worst ones for me. So the other night, a couple weeks ago, I decided to make tomato sauce, and I was just like, I'm gonna make this work. So I sat there and just did the breathing as I was taking bites. As soon as I felt like the roof of my mouth start to get a little like peely and itchy, again, the skin was just start to peel off, I immediately stopped and did the breath work, like right in that moment. The only thing that I will warn about that is I personally got a lot of, I think, like air in my stomach at that time, and I was super, super bloated that night because it took me 45 minutes at least to get all the food down because I kept having to stop and do the breath work. I did it, I don't know how many rounds I did during that, like maybe 10 or more, I don't know. I just like kept doing them in between as soon as it would start to fade, because you can feel the inflammation and rashing like go down in the moments that you're doing the breathing. It's really cool. And yeah, so I just did what I needed to do that night, and I've been eating tomatoes. And I have a couple times done the breathing again, especially if I start to get like, I really get like itchy right here inside of my nose, or sometimes a little bit itchy inside my mouth, especially along my gum line where my wisdom teeth were taken out, because that was a spot that had inflammation. So play around with this. I highly encourage you to find something that could work for you, and see. I mean, if you can't eat anything, you got nothing to lose, right? You already can't eat it. So start with something you're really, if you ever decide to try this, this is what I did. I'm not advising you to do this. Do what feels right for you and do your research, but this is what I did. I started with a very low allergy food and then added in things like as I went. So that's how I did it, and highly encourage you to explore this entire subject for yourself. And leave me a comment if you've done this as well and it's worked for you, or if you're trying it. That's so cool. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.